Hey guys, this is AR Cards back with another video this week. We'll have a nice and quick one for you guys today. Today, me and Jake are just going to talk about some of our, I guess we both have one kind of just crazy story. It's really mainly like Jake has a pretty crazy card story, and then my story is not quite as crazy. It's just kind of what got me into the hobby. But with that being said, I'll go ahead and get started with my card. Nothing crazy. But I have this 2021 Allen Ginter Shohei Ohtani patch card. This pretty much is the card that I chose today because it's the one that kind of sparked my interest in just the hobby and collecting in general. Which I used to love to kind of like open some blaster boxes and rip packs when I was kind of a teenager in high school. And then I just kind of fell away from it, and I've never really actually collected until these last 2 or 3 years. And I just randomly went to a card show with Jake before I started collecting, and it was right before we were about to leave, and the guy just had this for a couple bucks in a box, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. And for whatever reason, this is the card that kind of made me pull the trigger, and I bought this card, and then from there on, it's all been collecting, I mean, like crazy since then. And that's pretty much my story, though. This is the one that kind of got me into the hobby, really. Jake's story is a lot crazier than mine. He has a really cool story about his card, but that's pretty much all that I have for my story.
So, guys, going over my craziest story. If you watch the channel, you kind of know this one. I think I've told it on the channel before, but I'm not real sure. This is the 32 Sonella Babe Ruth. Pretty common Babe Ruth and super affordable. But I actually found this one for $5. Went to an antique shop, and I was just looking for cards like I always do, and I saw this in a baggie with a bunch of 90s Donruss 89 tops, and I got to looking at it inside this little Ziploc bag, and I was like, for $5, it's worth the risk to be able to see if it's authentic or not. And when I took it out, everything tested out that I thought it was authentic, sent it to PSA about a year ago, and got a 1.5 on it. So that's kind of my crazy card story that I have. And I don't think I'll ever get anything like that ever again, finding a Babe Ruth for $5.
Yeah, I think all of us have that kind of like little piece inside of us, so we want to go hunting for something like that, and it just happened to kind of happen for you. But I know I've gone through countless just little antique stores looking for baseball cards, maybe like some hidden treasure in there, and Jake happened to find his that day.
But yeah, that's just a awesome story that I'll always have with this card. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to trade it or get rid of it just simply because of the story I have behind it. And going back, I'm going to kind of go with the same route that Brody did on one of them. The card that got me into collecting vintage really big was actually this Ernie Banks. I got to collecting vintage cards around 2019, and I was buying stuff like 72 Topps K-Lines and a PSA 4 or 5. Like, I was just buying stuff that was cheap that I thought was cool, and finally I decided that I needed to start going after the bigger and better cards if I could afford them. So I started selling a bunch of stuff, and this right here was the one that I actually spent over $200 on to buy. I think I bought this one for $375, and that right there was kind of the nail in the coffin where I can spend $1,000 on one card and it doesn't bother me anymore. I about had a heart attack spending $375 buying this. I had my buddy Tim with me. He was the one that was telling me, man, you need to pull the trigger on it if you can get it. There's a great card to have, and I'm very happy that he told me to pull the trigger on that, because there's really what sparked my rookie card vintage thing I've went on now. So yeah, guys, we just wanted to make that video, and we'd like to see what y'all's craziest story is, or what card got you into collecting. So you guys can make a video and you can respond to us. You can tag us in it, and we'd love to watch it. We'd like to interact with you guys. So you guys can just go ahead and do that, and we'll be following it.
Yep. So we hope you guys enjoyed the video this week, and if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. It would it'd mean a lot to us as we're still trying to grow. Once again, we hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys next week.